Hello and welcome to Howzzat. It's always good to have your company. And together we have Vijay Lokapally with us, my friend and colleague, and somebody who helped me also understand the nuances of the game. Thank you so much, Vijay, for being here today.
Thank you for your kind words, Rajaraman. Very good morning.
Was a good game last night as expected, but Chennai Super Kings will be disappointed. But I think full marks to Dinesh Karthik for his captaincy last night.
Yes, the man who was under such severe pressure, and see how he rose to the occasion. I mean, he led the team brilliantly, and I think KKR is now on the rise.
Was also good to see Rahul Tripathi make a few runs, not just a few, but he made an 80 plus score. Was wonderful to watch him bat last night. But to me, really, the contest was between the two captains, and Dinesh Karthik stole a march last night over Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni is having a tough time. He's doing a good job as a wicketkeeper. He's leading well, no doubt, but he's lacking support and his own batting. I mean, he's not able to deliver as the old vintage Dhoni we have known, when he could swing the game from any situation.
Can't expect a man who's growing older by the day to win matches like he used to in the past, Vijay. But his skill set seemed not to have deserted him, even though his instinct is a little stronger than it was. We got to see it when he was keeping wickets. We got to see it when he led the side really well to restrict Kolkata Knight Riders in the end.
He defends his players beautifully. I mean, he has always taken the blame if it has come to, but he's keeping very well, just like an agile young wicketkeeper would. But those boundary shots, those when he could hit those boundaries at will, maybe a 4 or a 6, but here he has not been able to get those boundaries. So I think that is a very critical point where Dhoni will have to, at some point, Dhoni will have to improve.
Vijay, I think it is a good time today to bring in Raja Venkat, former selector and a Bengal captain in his time, to see what he's got to say about last night's game.
Chennai lost a thriller. A game that they should have won. They managed to lose by 10 runs. They fought back well after CSK went off to a good start. But thanks to a brilliant 81 by Rahul Tripathi, they managed to reach 167, which I felt was about 15 to 20 runs short than the past score. But again, when Watson and Duplessis started, it looked like it was going to be easy going for Chennai. But the middle order let them down again. I think they feel the absence of Suresh Raina now. Dhoni did the right thing by coming in to bat at number 4, which he should be doing for the rest of the tournament. But unfortunately, the lower order batsmen let him down big time.
Raja Venkat has a point when he speaks about how the lower order batsmen let Chennai Super Kings down. But I think the match was really lost between the 11th and the 15th overs when Chennai Super Kings did not get too many runs against Sunil Narine, who bowled 2 overs, and Pat Cummins, who bowled an over, which was of terrific pace and kept Chennai Super Kings tied down.
Yeah, it was an apt combination. How do you pick a fast bowler and then you have to deal with a spinner? Once again, here it was good planning, no doubt, by KKR and especially Dinesh Karthik, because you have to take some decisions on the field, on the instinct, and it was a very good ploy to press Cummins at the right time and keeping Narine going at the opposition when it was so very important.
I think on Twitter and other social media, I saw a lot of chatter about how people were surprised. Someone like Ajit Agarkar expressed surprise that Sunil Narine was not used in the first 10 overs. But in the end, it proved a great decision for Dinesh Karthik to bring in Sunil Narine in the second half, when Chennai Super Kings had as many as 22 dot balls, Vijay. They had just 12 dot balls in the first half, but to concede 22 dot balls in the second half of their innings when they are chasing a score of 160 plus was not the best advertisement for what Chennai Super Kings can do.
Yes, not good advertisement, no doubt. But you look at the situation where even the batsmen were unable to take charge. I mean, there are times when you have to step out maybe of the crease and try and play some different shots. But here, Kedar Jadhav was struggling. I mean, he looked completely out of place, even though Fleming would not, the coach Fleming was not going to blame him alone. But I feel Kedar Jadhav has not delivered. That is again added to the pressure on MS Dhoni. But credit to Narine and Pattinson.
Let us watch what Stephen Fleming had to say, Vijay. Since you mentioned Stephen Fleming, let us watch what he had to say at the press conference after the game last night.
Oh, well, it comes down to the batting resource. We've got so much batting resource. Kedar's a middle to late batter for India. We could have gone a whole lot of different ways. Today, Kedar had some balls that didn't work out, and likewise, you can always go back and put different players in different areas, and that's just when you have so much sort of batting talent to choose from. And that'll be one of the things we look at. Could have we done it better? But it's all in hindsight. At the time, we were hoping that Kedar could play the off spinner well and dominate that area. And it's also Jadeja as well to come and finish. But too much work to do, and we got left short.
You would expect a coach of a team to defend Kedar Jadhav and his experience. But last night, Jadeja came in and showed that he could bat at a faster clip than Kedar Jadhav. Perhaps Dhoni missed a trick there.
Maybe Ravindra Jadeja should have come up, but the point is that Kedar Jadhav, as Fleming was saying, that he is a middle order batsman for India. So an India batsman should know how to adapt, how to take charge, and Jadhav has failed miserably. And for yesterday, I'm not blaming him, but it is time CSK looks at options in the middle order.
After a very good partnership at the top of the order, and then with Ambati Rayudu as well chipping in with a 30, Shane Watson getting his second half century in a row, Chennai Super Kings will wonder why it did not manage to chase down the score that KKR had set for it. But it was KKR's night, really last night, whether it was Rahul Tripathi, whether it was Cummins bowling, or whether it was the decision to bring in both Sunil Narine and Andrew Russell late in the innings. I think everything fell in place for KKR.
Yes, everything fell in place. They did raise their stock, there is no doubt. But I would say Tripathi showed the way. What a wonderful innings. We have heard about him in domestic cricket, no doubt. And like he said, it was a dream come true. He was looking forward to play such an innings. And see, he was promoted. I mean, he was back to his place as an opener. That's what he does. And he really put CSK bowling to the sword. And it was one of the best innings we have seen in this IPL.
Yeah, look, not just in the academy before arriving here in the UAE, but the 4 weeks leading for the camp here, he was exceptional. He has literally worked the house down, and he's been an example for, even though he's a young fella and is fighting for a spot in the team. He's an example to everyone, really, and he's reaping the rewards, especially from last game. But then to come out today and get 80 odd and lead by example for his opportunity at the top has been magic to see.
Let's watch what Surendra Bhave, who knows him really well, a Maharashtra opener, national selector in his time. He surely knows Rahul Tripathi pretty well. Let's watch what he has got to say.
I think he played beautifully, took the initiative for KKR, and from the contribution of 81, you understand that he has actually played a major role in this innings. A few shots stood out in his innings. One, when he picked up the slower ball to hit a extra cover 6, was very good. There was a pull shot which he had so much time to pull that one that it looked very, very pretty. A couple of shots over point region were also exceptionally good. Rahul Tripathi can play these kind of knocks because he prepares very well. And I think it's all in the preparation. Everybody who has worked closely with Rahul knows that he likes to play thousands of balls in nets, and he likes to prepare very well. But good luck to Tripathi. He played a beautiful knock. Even the knock other day, a breezy knock he played the other day, was also outstanding. Of spinners, Rahul Tripathi has always been very destructive, but I judge his form from how he's facing the fast bowlers. And today, I think it was one of those days when he played the fast bowling beautifully and deserved all the accolades he got from everyone today.
I thought for someone who's got 7 years experience in first class cricket, who has played really well for rising Pune Supergiant when they played a couple of seasons, and then kind of got lost in IPL when he moved to Rajasthan Royals. But KKR, these last 2 games, have seen him express himself really well.
A lot depends on the coach. A lot depends on the responsibility entrusted in you. And here he enjoyed batting at the top. He was able to, like you say, express himself by playing those shots. I mean, look at how he paced his innings. I thought he was looking good for 100. But never mind, he can deserve that 100 for a bigger occasion in this tournament.
I like the kind of shot that he played, Vijay. It was both creative, and he could even play the conventional cricketing shot with aplomb. I think the shot selection stood out for me more than anything else. He showed a very mature approach to how he played his shot. The one shot that Surendra Bhave spoke about, where there was a slower delivery and he sent it out over deep extra cover for 6, was a treat to watch.
But I also particularly liked the shot where he used the pace of the ball and put it beyond fine leg. So that was again a very effortless shot, which left even Dhoni exasperated.
Dhoni would have known what to expect from Rahul Tripathi, having led him in that couple of seasons when they both played for rising Pune Supergiant. Last night he was behind the stumps and watched Rahul Tripathi play some amazing shot. If the decision to send Rahul Tripathi ahead of everyone else at the top of the innings and shuffle the batting order to push Sunil Narine to number 4 proved very good for Dinesh Karthik. He also touched gold with both Sunil Narine's bowling and Andre Russell coming in to bowl the crucial 18th over.
Yes, Andre Russell, I mean, he's not able to fire with the bat as you would like him to, but he's chipping in as a very useful utility cricketer. He can bat, bowl, and he's a brilliant fielder also. But to me, Narine's spell was the turning point. I mean, he is a large-hearted bowler. He's not at all worried about punishment. And you see, expressionless. Whether you hit him for a boundary or he gets a wicket, Narine is so calm on the field. So you need such bowlers in tight situations.
Let us watch what Kyle Mills, bowling coach of the Kolkata Knight Riders, has to say about how Sunil Narine was used last night.
With the ball, yes, Sonny came in late to the piece, but geez, the job he did at the back end of the innings, and it's so comforting to sit on the sideline to know you've got an experienced individual with 4 overs up his sleeve out of the 9 overs left in the innings.
And while we are with Kyle Mills, we might as well watch him speak about Andre Russell's bowling.
Well, that's been how we've used him so far this tournament. It's a real specialist skill set of how he likes to, or how we like him to bowl at the end of the innings. So he's got a few things to focus on, and the Yorkers is a big thing for us. And he does a lot of Yorker bowling at practices because he's very aware of his role within our group of what he has to do, and that's certainly at the end of the innings. And not only is he very good at Yorkers, but he's still got the ability to bowl fast bounces, and so he's a great hand for us at the back end of the innings.
I will have to go back to the KKR innings, Vijay. Mahendra Singh Dhoni surprised a lot of people by not using Ravindra Jadeja's left-arm spin bowling at all. It was always obvious that with so many left-handers in the KKR lineup, he was not going to use Ravindra Jadeja. He might have been waiting for some of the left-handers to fall before he could bring in Jadeja, but by the time they fell, it was too late in the day to bring a spinner on.
The bowlers who were operating, the seamers, they were doing a decent job. So there was no reason for Dhoni to have brought in Jadeja. And it is fine. I mean, if you look at it, hindsight, it was a gettable total. And they were going very well when Watson was in the middle. They should have walked to the target with Ambati Raidu, 99-1. And from there, they slipped. So I think you would have to lay the blame on the CSK middle order.
The 11th to the 15th over, Vijay, just 20 runs coming in that little packet of 5 overs, really set Chennai Super Kings back. You would have expected, and as Dhoni pointed out at the end of the game, you would have expected the batsman to rotate the strike at least, if not play the big shot. With Sunil Narine, you would want the batsman not to let him get on top of them. You would want them to keep rotating the strike so that he would be unsettled.
Yeah, basic. I mean, you have to rotate the strike. It definitely offsets the bowler because he has to keep bowling different line and keeps him under pressure. The fielding is also under pressure, and the basics were not adhered to last night. And I agree with Dhoni when he says that the experienced people will have to step in and take charge.
I think Shane Watson's wicket was a huge turning point. Sunil Narine coming in and trapping him in front when he was trying to play that pull shot, quite ambitious against a spinner who's very accurate, who's not easily readable off his hand, and so Shane Watson paid a price, as did Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah, I mean, he was caught. He was not in a position to play the shot beautifully because, as he would have expected to, because Narine had pushed that ball, which Watson just could not pick, and he went out shaking his head, not at the decision, but I think at the shot which he had played.
There were two magical moments for Dhoni and his fans last night. One is when he took Shivam Mavi's catch. He had the wicket-keeping glove off, had only the inner glove. When he played a expansive shot of Dwayne Bravo, and then Dhoni had to fling himself to his right, tap the ball, and then take it off the ricochet. It was a terrific sight to watch what he did with that inner glove rather than with wicket-keeping glove.
Yes, and again an inspiring moment for the team because you see everyone talks of Dhoni aging, but did you at any point think, Rajaraman, that this was not a 16-year-old wicket keeper? He flung himself and then he almost dropped it and recovered in good time. Watson was, you can see Watson's expression. I mean, he was just watching Dhoni so closely. It was, like you say, a very magical moment.
And then the very next delivery, when Varun Chakravarti was trying to take a second run, Dhoni had his inner gloves off when the ball was delivered, but almost magically, he had his wicket-keeping glove on to collect a throw from the deep and run Chakravarti out.
Yeah, in fact, Dhoni can do anything on the field. I mean, he's known to do all this. He can pull a surprise from at any point of the game, and he was. I mean, this is all good thinking of a very good cricketer.
But unfortunate for him that he had to take second place to Dinesh Karthik. On the tactical front, everything that Karthik tried worked for the Kolkata Knight Riders last night. Dhoni would concede such a defeat graciously.
Yes, very graciously, and I must tell you, we all saw that lovely moment when Chakravarti he takes his wicket, and at the end of the game he requests Dhoni to pose for a picture. For I think Chakravarti, this must be one unforgettable match. But he not only takes Dhoni's wicket, he gets him to pose for a picture also.
Oh, that is Dhoni for you, Vijay. In all that happened, I think we kind of overlooked Karan Sharma's bowling. He kind of understood what was needed of him and did a very good job for Chennai Super King with his 4 overs of leg spin bowling, having come in for Piyush Chawla.
Yeah, I mean, and good choice because once again they read the situation. They also understood that he would have to bowl those overs, very crucial overs. Not that Chawla was not delivering; Chawla was getting wickets. But Karan Sharma is very good at it. He whips the ball very well, and I'm very happy for him because when he was picked for India, this was the reason why he was picked because he gets the ball to rip off the pitch. And that's what happened yesterday. I mean, he was able to have, and he showed great control also.
Vijay, someone like Karan Sharma has plenty of domestic cricket experience behind him. There is a very interesting question that Farzan Arjani has to ask of you about the importance of first-class cricket experience for people who come in to play IPL.
So we have all these youngsters coming in. So we have Shubman Gill, we have Prithvi Shaw, we have Shreyas Iyer. What I have observed is basically they have a lot of first class cricket and a depth of their grassroots level cricket before coming into IPL. I feel that is very important because sometimes what happens is for some of the youngsters we get too much carried away with one brilliant 80 of say 35 deliveries of or 90 of 40 deliveries and then being patched for around 4-5 matches. So that happens to a lot of players, but these players we feel happy when they actually produce their first class level shots and bring it to the T20 franchise cricket as well. How do you feel and what is the importance of first class cricket coming through Indian cricket and then those cricketers coming to the ranks of T20 cricket? Thank you.
Thank you, Farzan. That's a lovely question. Obviously, you follow domestic cricket very closely, and you cannot ignore first-class cricket because it prepares you for the grind. It makes you a good competitive cricketer. And in here, one must understand that IPL can give you the platform. It brings you into focus. Domestic cricket, you don't come into limelight, kind of. But there are selectors who are watching you, and it is the best way to prepare yourself. Unless you are a good first-class cricketer, you cannot play the other brands of cricket, whether it is T20, whether it is limited overs. And yes, one innings can kind of bring you into limelight, like the IPL does. It has done to Tewatia, who has been playing for so many years. People don't realize, and even Tripathi has been playing domestic cricket. But it is the grind of domestic cricket that really prepares you.
Vijay, will move on and talk about tonight's game, Sunrisers Hyderabad taking on King 11 Punjab, two teams that have not really done as well as they would have liked to so far. But both of them have got the chance to make amends tonight and rise in the table.
Definitely. I mean, two teams, they promised so much with their first matches, first couple of games, and then they have slipped. And for many reasons, a combination of batting, bowling not clicking together in the same match. But once again, I would say a lot would depend again on David Warner. If he's able to play a cracking innings, Sunrisers should not be it should not be tough for them. But remember, there is KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal in the opposition.
While we settle down to watch the game between two teams that are in the bottom half of the table, I will thank you, Vijay, for the time that you've given us and for the conversation that you have every day with me.
Thank you very much. I especially enjoyed today's conversation. There is so much of cricket to discuss.